Okay, we're back in session. Chris, golf course.
Yes, sir. At the last commission meeting, we were asked. I was asked the question: how many current memberships we had at the Muni, and the current numbers are as of when this was put together were $90,019 worth of memberships, 262 total of varying types.
Commissioner Hodges, thank you. I can't remember if I asked that question, but if we wouldn't have opened the golf course at all, I'm assuming that those would have been funds that would have needed to be refunded to the users.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, we could always offer the option to extend the membership based on the number of days that we were closed, but we did receive multiple requests for refunds. So
Mayor Hoppe, some of these are week or monthly pays and some are paid annually, so
Correct.
Not all of it would have been refunded, but some of
Correct.
it would be income we would not be receiving, so
Yes,
it's a combination.
Yes, sir.
So that accounts for about, Commissioner Franz, that accounts for somewhere between 10 and 15% of the revenue stream
Yes,
is
sir.
in the memberships? Okay.
The other thing,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Just, Commissioner, it's got nothing to do with the theory behind this, but how come the platinum couples are more than twice as much as the platinum individuals? Is it the same level of membership? I'm just looking at the numbers and said, boy, these numbers just they're not proportional. Even if you give a discount for a couple, it's just.
That would be a solid question for Mike Hargrave. I can follow up with that for you.
Just mathematical curiosity. All right. Sorry.
That's a good call, because we have 48 platinum individuals at a current value of $5,000 and 37 couples at a value of $40,000. So there's something that doesn't work in the math there, unless there were platinum individuals that had monthly memberships and they stopped. I don't know. That would be a good question to ask.
Mike, I'm not sure if Mike Hargrave's on the line. He was going to call in.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Mike, if you're catching it, Mike, if you're catching this and have an answer, please press *9 and I'll unmute you. There we go. Before I unmute you, Mike, please be sure to take your phone off speakerphone and turn off any background sound to help us avoid feedback. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. Mike, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
And did you catch the question? The platinum couple, there's 37 platinum couples with a current value of essentially 41,000, and there's 48 platinum individuals with a current value of 5,600. And they're trying to understand the price point for those two. Those don't seem to sync up.
Well, what the information that I was asked to provide was of all our memberships that are currently active, and because of different renewal dates, those are throughout the entire year. And so the information that I provided was, of all current memberships that are now active, if we closed the golf course and had to stop letting those people play golf, the remaining amount of time on each one of those memberships would necessitate a refund of a certain amount of money. And it was a very long list. Of course, it was over 260, I believe, memberships. And that's what that $90,000 is. That would have to be paid out if the scenario was to close the course.
That's the remaining value on each.
The remaining value on each membership.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay.
And so to say that the couple's membership is worth this on an annual basis, it's difficult to pinpoint that one, because, depending on when they renew, and maybe they renew in, or maybe it expires like in December, and so they're going to wait till April when it gets nice before they renew. So when some people will go ahead and renew, even if it is late in the season, like November or December, because, the season, a number of people do play throughout the entire year. As long as there's no snow or frozen moisture on the course, we have people play. And, so it's difficult to put a value on the couple versus the individuals. that's a little tougher number to nail down. Again, that list that you're looking at is a condensed version of what we would have to pay out or we could just shut the doors.
Okay. So that is not the value of the membership sold to all of these various individuals throughout the year. It is what is remaining, and that is different for every individual because the purchase points are different.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever their renewal dates would be or their anniversary dates. Years ago, you only bought your annual membership on January 1. That, we have not been in that financial model for almost probably 8 or 9 years now, to where we let them use the anniversary date whenever they buy it. They buy it in April 1, they'll go again till April of next year. So again, it's difficult to nail down just exactly what an annual value to couples versus individual memberships would be.
Thank you. I just thought that was a real onerous marriage penalty there, and I was...
Commissioner Franz here, if I could make a comment. I just took a real quick look at the budget, and the annual memberships amount that's budgeted is about $215,000, so it's considerably different than this number, which is just a remaining balance. That changes my understanding of the situation.
Hey, Mike Hoppick here. Quick question for you. When you have tournaments out there, if they're, and I know you have some coming up that are charities or like the two-man scramble that's coming up, you get paid for carts plus green fees by those individuals, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So, okay. Any other questions for Mike? Mike, thank you for calling in. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Chris, go on.
Yeah, earlier we were asked about the city manager's office and reporting, and just wanted to follow up that the golf course staff will provide a weekly report to Mike's office on operations. HR has confirmed that hiring part-time staff will not affect the work share program. We're just talking about tournaments, golf tournaments that are lined up right now, or the KAHRMM with 40 to 60 players, the Kansas Boy Junior Amateur Championship, 4 to 5 days with 100 to 150 players, the Kansas Junior Golf Association qualifier, 60 to 90 players, Bethany College Tournament, 2 to 3 days, 110 players. So we do have a lot of economic impact that will be coming to the city with the golf course.
Commissioner Hodges, you said that the golf course was going to be open next week?
No, ma'am, it opens tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. And the staff is all lined out on procedures and everything in terms of the adjusted tee times, the social
Yes, ma'am.
distancing and all that? Thank you
ma'am.
very much.
And then the last thing that I have for you this evening, Commissioner Hodges, you'd asked for a more detailed
Yes.
plan on the Sunset Park ponds.
Thank you.
So the parks will vacuum out the water, debris, leaves, twigs, et cetera, from the ponds the week of May 18th to 21st with assistance from utilities. Specifically, we began removing water today. We'll finish tomorrow. Wednesday, the utilities department will bring their vacuum truck out to get the rest of the debris out of the ponds. Water will be pumped out of the ponds after a rain event as soon as possible. If water cannot be pumped out immediately, it will be regularly treated with insecticide to prevent mosquito larvae. The insecticide product is natural in composition, will not harm fish, pets, or wildlife, and the cost of chemical control of the ponds will be under $150 for the season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate having that information to be able to share with people.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anything else for Chris dealing with Parks and Rec? Chris, thank you for the information.
Thank you, folks.
Okay, with that, it brings us to other business.
Don't kill me, please, please. Commissioner Hodges, I have just a couple things, but
Okay.
they're all very short. The first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to thank Mr. Scragg and Monty from Utilities, specifically from wastewater, in helping us handle a neighborhood sewer backup, which is something you never want to happen, but having Monty's knowledge made the whole process a lot easier. So if you could convey our thanks to him, I'd appreciate it. Commissioner Davis and I serve on the building authority as representatives of this body, and I just wanted to make sure that you all had a heads up that the public library has instituted a no smoking policy on their campus, and it's going to be a discussion item for us at our meeting on Thursday. So I thought if any of you have very strong feelings one way or the other, it would be helpful for us to know them before that meeting so that we could convey that to the building authority board as a whole. And I'm not putting you on the spot right this instant, but if you need to communicate anything to,
Mayor Hoppick here, do we have the one smoking area out there by the,
I think we have two. Don't we have one by the,
Actually, there is one by the front door on Ash, and there's one facing the
At the
chamber.
east entrance, I
East
believe.
entrance, yeah.
Yeah.
There's one
Yeah,
over here.
there's-
up
there's
against
One at the
wall.
west entrance, too.
There's kind of barrier tape, I believe, on the sidewalk that gets you back away from the entrance, and then there's a bench and an area on the east side at least.
right. So I just kind of
So
want,
Commissioner, you're saying those will be affected, or?
those, I'm assuming that those would be affected if we go to a campus-wide no smoking policy. I would assume that it would include the entire grounds of the municipal complex. But we'll get more information on that, and I don't think that they're looking for a decision on Thursday. They just wanted it as a discussion item. So I think that, any questions that we have, I think that it'd be helpful for Commissioner Davis and myself to know about them so that we can bring those up and get answers for you.
So my question would be, is that employees who want to smoke would then have to walk off campus to do so?
I would assume so.
The obvious place would be in front of the health department. I'm just being kind of tongue-in-cheek.
Or the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, or in front of the
Memorial Hall.
apartments
Sure,
across
yeah.
the street. Okay.
Oh.
I'm not judging that one way or another. I just know that can be a matter of concern for some.
Or parking lots, which the parking lot,
Yeah.
directionally challenged,
The
is a building
off-campus
authority parking lot.
lots,
So I
yeah.
guess that might be a question of whether that ban applies to the parking lot as well.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Is the parking lot, I can only identify it as the parking lot where you park, the one next to Ad Astor, is that under the building authority?
I don't believe
Or is that
so.
that's just a city parking
believe
lot?
so.
that
The
you
one that
have
was newly
spaces?
constructed on the corner of Ash and 9th Street in the southeast corner. As you're walking out the front doors of the building, it's over to the right. That one's a building authority parking lot.
So that'd be helpful for us
And
to,
that's part of the campus.
that would be helpful to nail that down. Yeah, thank you, and it's not anything I would have ever thought of, so thank you for that. And then I just wanted the final item is, I just wanted to ask for an update. I know that our intention was that we wanted to make every full-time employee as whole as we possibly could. And I've been hearing anecdotally from the private sector about delays in getting unemployment benefits, and I don't have, any knowledge about participation in the shared work program, but I was hoping maybe you could give us an update about, now that we've probably been through a pay period round, has all of that kind of come together and people are getting what they'd expected or what we'd expected?
Fair question, and I don't entirely know. When we talked about leaving employees whole, we did the math.
Right.
To have the math work out, but early on, I was concerned whether the state would get their program stood up. So we were a little intentionally slow out of the gate because we thought they might be slow. They have since said that they have things up and running now in terms of getting payments processed, but I don't know what our employees' actual experience is.
Okay.
But I do see that, Jim Kowach is on the line. I'm betting it's about the building authority, but
Well,
the
just as
questions have come up on the part of employees and department heads about, what will the city do? And beyond getting them in the work share program and doing a batch application and providing assistance to get set up, we are as dependent on the state as any other employer to process those payments.
Just speaking for myself, maybe if we could get something included in your next city manager update, or at the, at the next meeting, just kind of an update in terms of how we're faring and if we've experienced any significant hiccups or things of that nature, I'd appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you.
And we do have Jim Kowach on the line. Jim, before I unmute you, please take your phone off speakerphone if it is, and turn down any background audio feed to avoid feedback. Go ahead, Jim.
Oh yeah, Mike. I was just calling in to confirm the parking lot situation. The parking lot over at the corner of Ash and 9th Street is building authority where Public Works parks and several county people park. The parking lot where you and some of the executive staff park is also building authority parking lot.
Okay, I didn't
But
know that.
it splits, and then the east half of that is just a city lot, the one next to Ad Astra. So there's a city lot and then 2 building authority lots.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have any other business? I think I said mine
Well-
early on, so.
We were talking about it during the break, but I do want to thank whoever paved Santa Fe. They did a very nice job in front of the hospital. I can run across the street at night and I'd have to look down. It's very, very smooth.
We'll see how long it holds up. But yeah, it does look good.
Yeah, that's it, the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? See you in 2 weeks.
We get a week off?
Or Thursday. Or Thursday, whichever comes first.
I think we ought to file a complaint about that.
Yeah, I think the odds are pretty slim on a Thursday meeting.
Okay.